no bullshit, the hardest part about going on a spiritual awakening journey, and when I say a spiritual awakening journey, I mean you have already discovered your purpose. You already are aware that you are on this journey and on this walk with God, and God is preparing you um, for that purpose to place you into position in a role um, to fulfill for His will in His kingdom, in this world. Um, and when you get on a spiritual awakening journey in that aspect, not necessarily just like locking in with God and going to church and reading the Bible and staying in the Word and things like that, it's kind of like it's kind of, it's not, how to explain it. Here we go. Here we go. It's different, but the goal ultimately is to build your relationship with God in both scenarios. But it's a difference from just like God is specifically preparing you for a purpose and you are going through this awakening, spiritual awakening experience from just, okay, I know my God, like I lock in, I go to church, I have a relationship with God. But that is important as well, for you to lock in with God as soon as possible and to build a relationship with Him, because before you even know, like before you discover your purpose and before you even know that God is like tuned in to you and tuned into your life and is watching you to see how you would move if He did decide to bless you or to give you a blessing, um it's important for you to have a relationship with God even before you realize like, oh yeah, I'm on this walk with God, like God is preparing me for this purpose. Like, so in both scenarios it's important to build a relationship with God and to get locked in with the Bible and everything like that. But I'm speaking about specifically, okay, I'm locked in. Like, I know that God is tuned into me. He's tuned into my frequency. He's tuned into my life. He's watching everything. He's watching the people around me. He's watching, just like preparing me for this purpose that He has for me. Um, and is that where I want to? Um, it was something else that I wanted to say about it too. But yeah, anyway, maybe it'll come to me. So yeah, I'm aware that like I'm on a spiritual awakening journey. And the hardest part about this, I'm telling you, is enduring to the end. It's enduring to the end. And the reason I say that is because like life be real, life be lifing. And a lot of things that go on, you just gotta have you just a lot of things that can go on or can go wrong in life. Like when you're on a spiritual awakening journey, you have to learn how to just tune that out. Like no matter what it is, it could be somebody, folks done died, folks done betrayed you or switched up on you. Like it could be uh 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 literally like you could have been and got robbed, like whatever the case, like anything like that can happen bad in life, literally. And you just have to tune it out. You have to tune it out, and you got to stay focused on pursuing your purpose and fixing the things that God wants you to fix in order for Him to prepare you for this purpose. Um, and a part of the way this is set up, y'all, I'm telling y'all, right? It's wild, boy. Like the way this is set up, you can't complain. You can't complain about any of it. Like you just gotta have faith and give it all to God and say, God, you know what? And that's why it's so important. Like I said, like somebody like me, and this is, and let me say this too, because my specific journey, like the purpose that God is preparing me for, like everybody's journey is not going to be as everybody's spiritual awakening journey is not going to be as difficult and as trying and as tough as mine has been, because when I pop out, y'all gonna see when I pop out, I'm not just popping out like no regular successful, like, oh, this person came up, good job. Like, no, like God is preparing me for a world changing position in his kingdom, like a world changing leadership position in his kingdom. And I can't describe it. Like, y'all just gonna have to see it when I finally actually do pop out. But my spiritual awakening journey is a lot more difficult than a lot of folks. So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Your spiritual awakening journey might not be as difficult. Like, it just depends on how big, like, God is going to take you, or what your purpose is, or the purpose that God is preparing you for. But the specific purpose he's preparing me for has the preparation for it is it's not easy. It's just put it like that. It has not been easy. But like I said, the most difficult part about it is just enduring to the end. Going blind to all the BS and the nonsense and the hate and like the spiritual warfare and the attempts to try to throw me off my game and get me to backslide, and so that my journey get extended and all type of, like, you just got to go blind to it all and give it all to God. And no matter what happens in your life, good, bad, ugly, you can't complain. You can't complain, because you have to show up in the spirit and with an attitude of gratitude. That's how you receive your blessing. And you got to show up and show God every single day, like, as if you are already living in that purpose, as if you have already received God's blessing, you already received his promise, and you already walking in your blessings, and you're already walking in that in your purpose. And you showing God, like, okay, yeah, if I'm in my purpose, God, this how I'm gonna move, this how I'm gonna do. Like, you can trust me with the blessing. You see what I'm saying? So if you waking up and something wrong done went on in your life, and you moping and you complaining and you in your feelings and you like, God, this taking too damn long. Like, I have had those moments too with God. Like I said, it's been years since I've been on my walk. And I have had those moments. Like, it be some days where you be like, damn, God, like, what's up for real, bro? Like, what's going on? You see what I'm saying? But you can't do that. You can't have that type of attitude, like, because that's just going to extend, like, that's just going to show God you're not ready. That's going to show God you don't have gratitude. So that's what makes it so hard, like, enduring to the end. Can't snap on God. It be sometimes, but God understands, like, cause you're gonna go through it. It's gonna get emotional. It's gonna get real. It's gonna be times where you're like, oh my God, bro, like, I don't know if I can, like, you see what I'm saying? But, and God understands, like, he loves you unconditionally at the end of the day. But God don't bless no mess. So you got to get it together, and you got to pull it back together, and you got to endure to the end. If you give up, you never receive your blessing. That's the only way to lose in this spiritual awakening experience, is if you give up. Let me see what else. In this specifically hard when you're going through a spiritual awakening experience, when everybody around you is not spiritually awake themselves or spiritually enlightened. So, like, with my specific situation, like, nobody really around me really grew up in the church. Like, my family, like, the folks I used to hang out with, like, nobody for real. So they're not spiritually awake. So they see or they experience this world from the physical, from the natural. They don't really understand like the spiritual laws and principalities that govern the world. You see what I'm saying? So everything that they pay attention to is really just surface level stuff. So somebody like myself, like who been on this walk for some years, and I done built up my spiritual rank, it just hasn't manifested in the physical. It just hasn't manifested in the natural yet. But my spiritual rank is like, your spiritual rank can be all the way up there right beside God. But but in the natural, it looks like, bro, like you ain't really been working. Like, where the bread at? Like what's going on? You're not paying no bills. Like, what's like, so it can look like you really down, like you're really struggling, like you're really going through it in the natural, but like in the spirit, that just like you could be the man. You could be the man in the spirit, and then it just hasn't translated into the natural because God hasn't given that stamp of approval just yet. So everybody in the natural, that surface level that's around you, looking down on you, like they looking at you like, bro, what is you, like, get your life together, bro. Like this dude, like he talking about the spirit and they're talking about this and talking about all that, and it can really look like you crazy, like to somebody who's not spiritually enlightened and who's not like, who don't view the world from that perspective. It can look like you going crazy for real, and God will sit there and let it happen. God will let folks look at you like you crazy, and God will say, okay, now put this video out, put this video out, put this message out, say this, and you just going deeper and deeper and deeper down this rabbit hole. Like, God want me to say this, God want me to say that, and you looking crazier and crazier in the natural, but you building your, as you putting it in, as you obeying God and being obedient, you growing like your rank in the spirit. But in the natural, it look like you losing it for real. And everybody around you, like, you have to, but this is what you have to exist in. Like, this is, you have to exist with everybody around you who are looking at the world surface level, judging you and looking at you a particular type of way until you actually receive that blessing. And that's just what you got to go through. It's just a part of what you have to endure when you're enduring until the end, until God decides, okay, yeah, this person is ready. Like, this person is ready to step into this purpose. So on top of everything that could go wrong in life and you can't complain about it, you got to stay in the state of gratitude. Is also you being judged by people who are not spiritually enlightened, who are very surface level, and they looking at like what you are doing, what you're not doing, what you're not bringing to the table, or whatever the case may be in the natural, not realizing like what happens in the spirit happens first before it manifests into the natural. Like, your will be done on earth as it is in the spirit, as it is in heaven. You see what I'm saying? Like, people don't think like that. Nobody thinks like that. So it, to them, it looks like, basically, like, depending on what you got going on in your life, like, you could like look like you like down, like you just down bad for real. You see what I'm saying? My particular situation, I feel like it's some decisions that I made over the past few years, to be honest. Like, and it's just me, like I said, just opening up, being real. And I'm telling you, bro, when I finally actually do pop out and y'all realize like really who I am, a lot of folks might be saying like, damn, like, why is some dude, like, why is somebody at his level, like somebody as successful as he is, why is he on YouTube, like, really just going so deep into his personal business or whatever the case may be? And it's because it's a part of my purpose. Like, God is telling me to open up and share my story and share my testimony, so that once he does elevate me, he can get the glory, and folks can know my story, and they know that God is real. God pulled me up out of this. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, like when y'all, once I really pop out and y'all really understand and see like who I am and what my position is in the world, you're gonna be like, damn, bro, like why, like he on YouTube, like just really just like opening up about his personal business like that, like, bro, like imagine like the most successful, like richest, like individual that you can think of, billionaires or whoever on YouTube, like just going for broke, like speaking about their personal issues and stuff like that. You don't see it. Like, and that's another thing. Like, God is preparing me for something that has never been seen, never happened ever in the world, in history of the world. You see what I'm saying? Like, and it sounds wild, it sounds crazy, but it's spiritual. It's not fit. Like right now, it's not in the natural. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, I would say like the a few. Let me just say, like a few of the decisions that I made that kind of put me in a situation where I am right now. I would say um that I like wish I would have done different. Like if I could go back, I would have done it different. But it was some circumstances that was like that I had, or some opportunities that I had available to me at that time, that like was kind of the motivation behind why I made the decisions. But those opportunities didn't necessarily pan out the way that I had planned. Like, so if they had panned out, then the decisions that I made would have been A1, you see what I'm saying? But they didn't pan out. So the decisions that I made prior to those things not panning out kind of like set me in a bad position for real. And the first one was allowing, man, like I allowed, like, I'm trying to think, should I say, I ain't gonna say who, but I allowed some people to talk me out of leaving my security job that I had. I had a local security contract at a liquor store. It was straight. Like I was like, money was cool. I was good. I wasn't really needing or wanting for nothing. And like it was my gig. Like it was mine. I was running it. So um I was good. But I allowed some people, like some stuff went on, and some people get like, I was good, but some other people were worried about me. Like, yo, I don't know, it's just a lot going on, bro. You might want to, like, and they said that they had another gig lined up for me, um, and that it was gonna be good. It was gonna be better money than what I was making with the security gig. So I'm like, all right, bet. I took their word for it, and I left the security gig, and what the replacement wasn't what they told me what it was gonna be. So money fell off, money got bad, and I wasn't like so that was one. Another thing, um I ended up selling my crib. I sold my house, um and I ended up getting a spot in Buckhead, like a little studio spot or whatever. Um that was like 3 times of what I was paying for my mortgage on my crib. So I left my security gig where I was getting some decent money, you know what I'm saying? And like went to go do this other job where I started making way less. And at the same time, I picked up a way bigger like rent bill with this studio than what I was paying for my mortgage. So at the same time, like where I had less money coming in, I had more money going out. You see what I'm saying? Like, but at this moment, at this time, like I had just graduated this accelerator program. I was expecting an investment into my company like within months. And I could see other people who I had graduated the accelerator program with were getting investments. And what I didn't know was that I was on a spiritual journey with God, and God was getting ready to cut off my resources to see how I could stand, like how I could weather the storm. Like I was getting ready to start. I was already being tested, but the real test was really just ramping up, getting ready to begin. But I'm looking at it like, oh yes, I'm finna be good. I'm finna get invested. I'm finna get an investment. Like I'm finna be good. It wasn't, and it wasn't that. It wasn't that. Yeah. Also, I had this case pending. A tractor trailer had like ran me pretty much like off the road on some bullying me out my lane junk, and it was a shoe in. Like, man, like that case, it was a shoe in. Like for me to get my settlement, the only reason I didn't, like, the truck driver won on a technicality because the officer who wrote the citation didn't fill the citation out correctly. So a case that should have been a shoe in, like a tractor trailer, like ran me off the road. Like, man, you see what I'm saying? Like, I could have took care of so much. I could have took care of like that settlement. Like, I was really like depending on that. That could have took care of so much. Um, but I ended up losing that case on a technicality just because the officer who responded to that call didn't fill the citation out correctly, and this officer was on like the traffic team for the department, that they was like, you work traffic, bro, how did you not fill the citation out correctly? So yeah, if I had received an investment, if I had received that settlement, then those decisions that I made to leave that job and to get that new spot would have worked out perfectly. But because those things didn't pan out, like I just started drowning for real. Just started drowning in like debt, drowning in all of these bills coming in that I couldn't really keep up with. Um, and things went downhill from there for real. And ever since then, like I don't really want to, like, if you go from a like having a gig where you just like pretty much your own boss, you don't like you schedule your own hours, you do your own thing or whatever the case may be. It's hard to go back to a job where you have a supervisor that's over you, like, come on, we got to make these times, we got to make this, we got to do that. Like, so I ain't going back to like working a job where I got a supervisor, bro. That's one of the toughest things to like. Long story short, so like since then I had one little gig, but it ain't go well, so I ended up leaving that. And I really, like, right now I'm completely dependent on God. Like I'm good, like I'm provided for. Um, like I'm right now keeping 100. I'm with my folks or whatever right now. Like so, um, like I'm good, but I'm still just enduring. Like I'm enduring to the end. You feel me? Like I have to be grateful. I wake up every day. I thank God that it's like I'm in a position where a lot of people like wish they could be in. I'm like, yeah, it may not have manifested in the natural and in the physical world just yet, but I'm still in a position like I'm in God's presence. Like God is preparing me to step out and to have a better life. Like I prayed at one point, like years ago, when I was still like just working on my company, trying to get it going, like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? I prayed for this opportunity to be in this position. I didn't know that this was what I was praying for or that this was what it was going to take. Um, but yeah, and I just have to stay in an attitude of gratitude, postured in gratitude, and just thankful. Like, damn, I woke up another day. There's people who had plans for the day, who didn't wake up. See what I'm saying? It's somebody somewhere in a hut with no electricity, no running water, like who wish that they could be in my position. You see what I'm saying? Like, it could always be worse. So you just look at it like that, and you just keep it pushing, and you just have gratitude. Yeah. Let me see. What else was it? But like, it gets wild, bro. It gets wild. Like, and it be days where you be like, God. And that's another thing. Like, I'm writing a book called Lord, What's Going On? And it's just talking about it's talking about the spiritual awakening experience in general, like what you go through when God is preparing you for a purpose. But specifically mine. And well, I'm giving instances and examples from my own walk, which my walk ain't like the normal walk. It's not like what just anybody would go through, because like I said, God is preparing me for a global changing leadership position, like something that ain't never been done before. So, and like folks will see when I pop out. That's the only way you're gonna see it. That's not something I can sit here and explain to anybody who's getting ready to go on. Let me see, what else was it? And this is me sharing my testimony, y'all. It gets real. And that's one of the hardest things about this spiritual walk, is enduring to the end and keeping a smile on your face. And you just gotta grin and bear it, whatever come with life. You just gotta have faith. Like, you know what, God, I'm not gonna stress. I'm not gonna fear. God, don't give me a spirit of fear. You don't put a spirit of fear in us. He don't like us to fear. He don't like us to worry. He don't like us to stress. Just give it to God. Continue to have faith that he's working all things out for my good. It's in the Bible. God works all things out for the good of those who love him, and who keep his will and things of that nature. Let me see. Yeah, what else? Yeah. Let me say this too. Be careful what you wish for, man. Like, be careful what you wish for. Like, and I love so if there are people or someone like in your life, whatever capacity that they were, and God removes them from your life for whatever reason, and you so adamant, like, yo, nah, bring that person back. I'm not God. I'm not going, God. No, I'm not leaving without these people. Like, bring these people back. I'm not going. I'm not going. Like, God be like, all right, cool. You say you're not going? I bet. Like, and a part of your enduring until the end, like, you're going to have to sit there and wait for these other people or that other person or whoever to get ready, to get to a point where God is like, okay, yeah, now this person is ready, they can come back. That's a part of enduring. Like, you could be on top of your shit. Like, you could be on top of it, like handling your business and like getting your part done, and still just be sitting around like, oh, what is going on? Like, God, like, oh, we preparing, like, we gotta prepare these other people for you. Like, prepare this other, you said you're not going. You said you're not going. You be like, hold on, God, hold on, hear me out. You be like, God, hear me out, bruh. But you just gotta wait. Like, however long this person taking, whatever, like, to wake up, to become spiritually enlightened, to realize that they gotta get their shit together, you just gotta wait. Like, all right, God, all right, handle what you gotta do. You gotta wait, bruh. Because you was like, okay, I'm not going. Like, nah, bring that person, bring those people back. I'm not going. You're like, all right, cool. You're not going. We gonna bring them back, but we gonna bring them back when I feel like they're ready to come back. And that's part of enduring, boy. It's out of your control. And my whole thing, I'm thinking like, okay, because the Bible says, seek first the kingdom of God, and all of your desires will be added unto you. So I'm thinking like, okay, guys, as long as I'm on top of my junk, I'm handling my business, like I'm seeking the kingdom first. Everything else should be everything else should be added unto me, right? That's what it don't work like that. It don't work like that. So be careful what you wish for, man. And I still got love for like the folks, like I said, everybody that I loved before this walk. Like, even if I still got love, some folks I did have to say, okay, you know what, God, I hear you. I see what you saying. Like, so I just gotta leave those folks behind, or whatever the case may be. But like, if God says somebody can come back, then God will prepare that person, and you just gotta wait. You just gotta be patient while God prepares that person to come back into your life or whatever. But a lot of flow, a lot like if God say, "Oh no, these people not coming back," bet. All right, okay, God, it's your world. Literally, it's your world. You feel me? Like, whatever you say, man. I just gotta like. But it's because of them. Like, it's because of them. Like, people, only person that can mess it up for them is them. Like, I prayed. I prayed. I put my foot down. I said, you know what, God, like, and I endured, and I tried, and I politic for them. I not even politic. What's the word? I advocated for them, and but people ruin their own. Like, God sees everything. God sees everything. That's why I said it's important for you to lock in with God, because before you even know that God is watching you, and I said, okay, God, I want boom, boom, boom. I want this person, this person, this person. I'm not going. If they're not going with me, but God will go and, okay, you want boom, 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 and God will tune in to their frequency and to their life and see what they got going on, and come back to me and be like, oh, nah, see what I'm saying? So that's because they ruined it. It ain't got nothing to do with me. My hands is off of it. I give it to God. I put all my faith in God. But they're like the one person or whoever, or couple people, whoever, that may be coming back, that God is like, okay, this person can, like, I can work with them and get them spiritually awakened, and prepare them, and then send them back, or whatever the case may be. You just gotta be patient. You just gotta endure. It's wild. It's wild, but this is what really goes on. And oh yeah, the way this is set up, it can be like, it's set up so smooth. Like, God can be talking to you literally everywhere, like through television broadcasts, like you tuning in to church broadcasts, and God speaking directly to you through the pastors and through the preachers, and you sitting around with folks who are not spiritually awakened, and they watching the same thing, and but they don't even realize, like, or like, it be so blatant in folks' face, like, this is for, like, this is a part of my walk and in my journey, like everywhere. It's everywhere. Like, God speaks to you literally everywhere and everything. And that's what I say too, like, because the enemy, the devil, the adversary, speaks to people everywhere too. So, like, when I say he tap into the social media feeds of the people around you, and it's all spiritual, but that's like spiritual things manifesting in the natural, like through your social media feeds and things like that. Like, and it be from people that you know. It be from people that you follow online. Be careful who you follow online. Some of these people have sold their soul. Like, it's a real thing. This world is spiritual. Like, some of the people that you follow online could literally be agents of the devil, agents of Satan, and specifically targeting your phone to send you a message to get into your psyche to get you to do certain things or to think certain ways, because whoever is like in charge of them or whoever their life belongs to is telling them like, okay, yeah, tap in and go fuck with this person's social media feed and get them to like believe this or to think this sort of way or to go do something stupid or dumb. Like that's how this world works. The people that you look up to, the people that you listening to, the rappers, the drill rappers, and the comedians that's so funny doing crazy dumb shit online, like and folks that are living in sin and living life reckless have sold their soul. Like the devil can bless you too. The devil can make you a millionaire. The devil can like have you being successful doing all the wrong things. You see what I'm saying? It's spiritual. It's spiritual. They trying to get control of the world. Like this God's world. You see what I'm saying? And God getting ready to reestablish his will and take back territory. And that's what we own. And so, yeah, it's rappers out here. It's folks like getting in people's ear, like specifically targeting specific people that they don't even realize that they spiritually sleep, unconscious, very surface level, not spiritually enlightened at all. Don't even realize that everything that you seeing online and on your social media feed is specifically people targeting you right now to get you to think this or to get you to believe that. You just scrolling, and these people manipulating you. They fucking with your head. You see what I'm saying? And you don't even realize it. You just sleep. You just very surface level dealing with the physical world. You're not even aware of the spiritual laws and principalities that govern this world. But it's getting deep. I'm going to leave it right there, man. Y'all be safe today. Stay out the way. Take everything one step at a time, one day at a time. Focus on finding yourself and finding your purpose. I love you, King V. H&R.